All right, good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Shiva. We're going to have a discussion about green tea and immune health. It's going to be part of our immune health series. Green tea. Some people consider it nature's antibiotic, one of nature's antibiotics. Its usage was discovered over 4,000 years ago in China. It's the most consumed beverage after water. Quite amazing. It's produced from the fresh leaves of Camellia sinensis. The major benefits of green tea are attributed to catechins and amino acids. Let's talk about the immune system. So the immune system, first of all, you have the innate immune system, which is the immune system that's in your eyes, your throat, your gut, right? It's the thing that's exposed to the pathogen. And this immune system attempts to take out the pathogen using cells like macrophages, which attempt to literally eat it up. Once this is done, the components that have been eaten up are called antigens. They're presented to the adaptive immune system, which generates antibodies. And in this conventional understanding of the immune system, if you got antibodies, you're done. You're in great shape, okay? Well, the problem is there are people who get exposed to a pathogen who never have antibodies, but they survive really well. Well, how's that possible? How did that happen? Because there are other parts of the immune system which give you immunity. And those include systems such as disease. And this is what I presented about a couple of years ago at the National Science Foundation. I said, look, it's not just, this. It involves your amazing bacteria in your gut. It involves viruses. We have about 380 trillion viruses. It involves the interferon system. And, the gut-brain axis looking at your brain. So if you have stuff going on in your gut, that's going to affect neuroinflammation. But the interferon system, as you can see, is one system that's the missing link across all of these, which is rarely talked about. Green tea. It's pretty well researched. As you can see here, there's nearly 35,342 research articles, incredible number of clinical trials, nearly 1,356 clinical trials done on it. And that's over 211 years of medical research. Quite extraordinary. Now, in order to understand this, think about having to go through all those research articles. How would you do that? Well, with CytoSolve allows us to take all those research papers, curate the ones that we think are relevant, in this case to immune health, extract out the molecular mechanisms, build an architecture, and then understand how that works. So we're going to share with you some of that research. I wanted to let you know that we use the technology here. We've helped many companies over the last 16 years, a lot of smart, innovative companies, but we decided with all the mathematical models we've created, why don't we try to use this to compute the best product we could think of from the science out there for reducing pain and inflammation, pain and discomfort. And that resulted in us creating MV25 using CytoSolve. We're going to have more products that are going to be coming, but let me just show you what MV25 is about for those of you who haven't heard about it. But this is using CytoSolve in a beneficial way, not to just do research, but find combination therapies.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ann. My hands would cramp up so that I couldn't hold cards or knit or crochet, and they would go like that. And I'd have to use this when I played cards with my grandkids. And I started taking that MV25. After a bit, I was able to hold cards in my hand. Very little cramping, hardly at all anymore. MV25.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I tore my ACL during Taekwondo. I had a lot of pain and limited mobility. I've been taking the MV25 for about 6 months now. After the first week, I noticed a big difference. After the second week, almost literally no pain.
My name is Jeremy, and I suffer from a lower back problem. Hurt my back at work years ago, and I can go to the chiropractor, do all kinds of different things, and nothing seems to help. And I decided to try MV25. I didn't notice a difference immediately, but within a few days, the pain went away, and it stayed away. I've continued to take it, and even when I do things that I shouldn't do, it seems to go away a lot quicker than it ever did before.
It's clean food certified. It's made in the US. If you go to vashiva.com, right on the shop, you'll click there, or you can go right to mv25.life, either way. And then from there, you can click on the bottle and you can order. If you buy 6 bottles, you get 6 bottles for free. Please take advantage of it because first of all, it's going to help you. It's going to help our movement. And it really supports the fact that we want to take science-based approaches to natural products. Okay. So when you look at green tea, what is it composed of? Because it's not just one drug. This is why CytoSolve is so valuable, because we need to understand it in a holistic way. Green tea is composed of many things. Well, it does contain caffeine, lots and lots of minerals, amino acids, polyphenols. It's a very powerful food. And those polyphenols are extremely powerful ingredients that affect all types of chemical reactions. And here are some of the 4 major what are called catechins. So what are the biological effects of green tea? 6 major effects. Antioxidant, powerful antioxidant. Anti-inflammatory, anti-proliferative, which means anti-tumor. Anti-thrombotic, which means for thrombosis. Vasorelaxation, which means that's what the arginine does. Anti-angiogenic, again related to cancer. So you have a number of very, very powerful uses here. So you just want to sort of look at that. You can see the many aspects of green tea, biological effects. What are the health benefits? Well, great for obesity and weight loss, anti-aging, immune function, cardiovascular disease, liver disease, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cold and flu, asthma, depression, and periodontal disease. So if you look at all of these things, you will realize that ultimately many of these health benefits are related to inflammation and the immune system, which we're going to talk about. The things that's left out of this enormous thing called the immune system is the interferon system. The interferon system is a part of your infrastructure. These molecules that are called interferons, they interfere with the virus. That's what they're called, interferons. And these interferons, they're in virtually every cell in your body, unlike antibodies. Okay, they're everywhere. And the interferons create an antiviral environment in the cell. In fact, this entire process upregulates many genes. There are type 1 interferons, interferon alpha and beta, which are in every part of your body. So the interferon system is hugely important because it says it's not just about the antibodies. We also have interferons. And why are interferons important? Interferons increase antiviral activity of cells like NK cells. NK means natural killer cells, which go eat up your infected cells. So extremely important, independent of antibodies, okay? So the effect of green tea on immune health is, when you look at it, you find out that the important thing is these catechins. So again, the catechins from the green tea modulate the immune system through anti-inflammatory properties. Now those catechins from green tea exhibit antimicrobial effects. This is what's interesting. So think about this. The catechins, like vitamin D3, have an antimicrobial effect, and those catechins also have an anti-inflammatory effect. So they have a dual effect in this case. The L-theanine promotes proliferation of the innate immune system, which means it supports the innate immune system, your macrophages, your NK cells. So that's that theanine, which also modulates caffeine. And then the green tea compound alleviates asthma symptoms through smooth muscle relaxation. So let's look at L-theanine, okay? So this is the effect of green tea on the immune system, and particularly on the innate system. So if you look at the L-theanine, promotes the proliferation of gamma delta T cells, okay? See, that's these T cells. So you can see right here that L-theanine literally supports the proliferation of these T cells. And what's important, these are part of your innate immune system. And these T cells enable antibacterial activity, antiviral, and antifungal. Antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. So this molecule enables a T cell to do that. It's a very powerful effect. The second thing that happens is the effect of the green tea on the immune system is it supports the adaptive immune system. So there's that molecule, EGCG. That's that molecule with all those OH groups around it, right? And what EGCG does, if you look at the Th1 cell, which is one of the cells that's involved in the transition in the adaptive immune system, the Th1 cell, the NF-kappa beta and AP1 control the upregulation of inflammatory genes. So in this cell, you have these two molecules, NF-kappa beta and AP1. These actually create TNF-alpha, IL-2, MCP1, and IL-1 beta. Why is this important? Well, these molecules are inflammatory molecules, cytokines, okay? Well, and they are created by NF-kappa beta and AP1. Guess what EGCG does? It blocks these. And so release of these cytokines leads to the cytokine storm. So that's what you would get. But right up here, we're blocking NF-kappa beta and AP1. So EGCG inhibits NF-kappa beta 1 and AP1, thereby mitigating the cytokine storm. So again, this is why green tea has a modulatory effect, right? So that's probably why you feel good when you're drinking a nice warm cup of tea, right? Because you're essentially giving your body some shock absorbers, okay? Which means it modulates all the cytokine response. Now here's the other thing. EGCG, you also have to understand, in the native T cells, which is part of the adaptive immune system, there's an enzyme called IMDPH, which is necessary for activation of the pro-inflammatory Th1 cell. So before this, how does this get activated? Well, it's activated by the naive T cell, which activates the Th1 cell. And the IMDPH is an enzyme necessary for the activation of the pro-inflammatory T cell, okay? And what EGCG does is it blocks this enzyme, right? So the Th1 cells are the inflammatory cells, and the inhibition of IMDPH leads to suppression of the Th1 cells and reduction in inflammation. The green tea has one effect where it goes right into the Th1 cell and it knocks out the NF-kappa beta, right, which stops the cytokine response, but also upstream of that, it also is going and blocking IMDPH in the naive T cells, okay? Now, let's talk about the antimicrobial effects. So what we've just talked about is the amazing power of green tea to support the effect of the adaptive immune system. That's, the aspect of the immune system that's exposed to the outer world, but it also supports your T cells, okay? By making sure that your T cells, there's various types of T cells, it's not producing the ones that cause inflammation. So the other aspect is green tea also has an antimicrobial effect, okay? So look at it, antimicrobial means viruses, bacteria, and fungi. Viruses, bacteria, and fungi. So you can look over here what EGC does here. EGCG in the upper left here. So here's a virus coming in, which is binding here, in this case to, let's say, a receptor right here. What EGCG does is it inhibits the viral binding to the host cell surface. It inhibits viral replication. So right here, the green tea blocks the virus, it blocks the viral binding. Okay, so think about that. And then the other thing it does, it inhibits the viral replication right here. So remember, just to go back to basic immune system stuff I've taught you guys, is that the virus, first of all, has to land on the surface like a lock and key, then it gets in, right? Then it releases its RNA, its nucleic acid, and then it starts using your machinery to replicate it, and then it reassembles itself and gets out. Well, green tea stops it from getting in, it blocks the receptor action, that's number one. And if it does get in, it goes and blocks the replication process. That's very powerful. When you think about it, the very powerful effects green tea has on the antiviral effects. Now, on the antibacterial effects, it blows up literally the membrane walls you're seeing up here. So green tea here, it causes membrane disruption, and it also destroys the DNA of the bacteria, and it inhibits the bacteria from replicating. Very powerful. And then the last thing, what it does to fungi, it also disrupts the membrane like it does to bacteria. It also destroys the DNA of the fungi, as you're seeing here, but it also inhibits ergosterol synthesis, which is necessary for building the fungal cell wall. So basically it destroys the fungus' cell wall. Remember, you're taking down the wall, okay? And the fungi and the bacteria are essentially destroyed. But with viruses, it goes and stops the virus from getting in, and it stops viral replication, right? Green tea, amazing, amazing medicine. Food is medicine. Now, let's talk about asthma, okay? When people get asthma, you have constriction of the bronchial airways, they get wheezing, and essentially what you have is the muscle in the smooth muscle constricts, right? You have vasoconstriction of the bronchial tubes, increasing severity of asthma symptoms. The theophylline, right, from green tea relaxes the airway smooth muscle, ASM, in the bronchial tube. So here's a constricted airway and here's a dilated one. So the relaxation of the smooth muscles in the bronchial tubes leads to reduced severity. So that's the theophylline, right? Which is another component which we have. So we've talked about many different components, but the theophylline, separate from the catechins, literally relaxes the smooth muscle, which helps in asthma. All right, everything I've shared with you is taking a bottoms-up systems approach using CytoSolve, right? Which is sort of a Western molecular systems approach. But you can also take an engineering systems approach, which is related to Eastern medicine that I unraveled as part of my Fulbright. Now, using that, I'm also going to analyze green tea, okay? Guess what green tea does? It increases transport movement. That makes sense. Caffeine in it. It also increases pitta, which is the conversion aspect, digestion, and it lowers storage, which means lowers weight. So you'll understand that transport, conversion, and storage, what I discovered are the three important phenomena in the universe. Believe it or not, they're related to truth, freedom, and health. Freedom being the transport piece, truth being the conversion piece, storage being the health piece, okay? So all of this is deeply interconnected. And that's why when I keep doing these videos, I'm using green tea. In many ways, you're getting a lot of benefits of understanding it, but I'm using it to start training you. Green tea is a system. That system, which is a herb or a leaf, affects my system. And that's what you're seeing here. Your body can be understood as a system. So this red dot's you. You drink green tea, it's going to increase your transport, you're going to increase digestion, and you're going to lower weight. That's what this is teaching you. All right. So how much should you take? Well, again, all of this comes from the research, 3 to 10 cups, brewed tea, maintenance dose. It may seem like a lot. I do about 3 cups. For cardiovascular benefits, Frank et al. And Knotts and Serbin in 2009, 2015 said you can take about 160 to 2,500 milligrams per day of the green tea extract. I also have the green tea extract, and you can look at it. It has a lot of EGCG in it. For neuroprotective benefits, Park et al. in 2011 found out that about 1 gram, close to 2 grams, 1,720 milligrams per day of green tea extract. For diabetes, 84 to 386 milligrams of EGCG extract. And for immune boosting, Matsumoto et al. Says that you want to take about 588 milligrams of the green tea extract, which gives you about 378 milligrams of the catechins and the 210 milligrams of the theanine. But anyway, I want to encourage all of you to really explore green tea as a food. If you don't look at it, it is a very powerful food. It's easy to make. It modulates the cells of the innate and adaptive systems, as we've seen. It inhibits the cytokine storm. Green tea is a potent antimicrobial, and it also is a potent bronchodilator. There you go. Support the movement and be the light. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.